Ẹ káalẹ́ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá níbikíbi tẹ́ ti ń gbọ́ wa jákèjádò ilẹ̀ káàárọ̀ oòjíire àti ní ibikíbi tẹ́ bá ti ń gbọ́ wa ní gbogbo àgbáyé. A kí yín ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò wa ní àṣálẹ́ yìí. Orúkọ tèmi ni Abiodun Bakare. You are welcome to our program tonight, wherever you are hearing or listening to us worldwide. We are streaming live from our TYF Ronu series studio. You're welcome to our Ronu series tonight. And we have our topic for tonight, which is we're going to introduce to you very, very soon. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time, this streaming is being organized and produced by an organization called TYF, which is Think Yoruba First. Think Yoruba First is a socio-cultural and socio-democratic organization that is organized exclusively for the development and promotion of the Yoruba in the realm of education, science, culture, arts, finance, and self-preservation. The organization is driven by the principles of Awaism and Yorubanism that's deeply rooted in the progressiveness and conservation of the Yoruba, as exemplified by the late sage Chief Awolowo. May his soul continues to rest in peace. We in the TYF, we are committed to protecting our heritage and ushering a new era of prosperity in Yorubaland. Unite the Yoruba along our ethno-linguistic and ethno-religious identity and set the motion for the next generations of the Yoruba for the continuity of our race. Our organization is registered both in Nigeria, in the UK, and in America as a non-profit organization, and we are into promoting the conservation of the Yoruba identity, language, and ideologies via Yoruba nationalism drive. We hold Yoruba as a pride of the Black race, of Guadulawa Niwa. We hail from the western region of the present-day Nigeria country and are indigenous to the regions extending to adjacent countries, including Togo, Republic of Benin, and Ghana. We are also transatlantic, and many of our descendants are now domiciled in Brazil, Cuba, Trinidad and Tobago, by virtue of the unfortunate events in the transatlantic age. From Yoruba creation's history, Ile-Ife is the cradle of Yoruba people and considered to be the site of creation of Mother Earth. According to Yoruba mythology, it is from Ile-Ife that civilization rose for all mankind. Today and presently, we have our president of TYF, Mr. Bolarinwa. He will be speaking to us tonight, and he will be speaking to us on the topic brotherhood. May I can get that correctly? Yes. Religious brotherhood versus ethnic brotherhood. Which is greater? I have to have tonight with me, Madam Ajoke, who is joining us from Germany. And we have another Madam Ajoke also is in Lagos. And the president of TYF, Bolaniwa, please, you're welcome on stage to speak to us tonight. Thank you very much. Mr. Bolaniwa, please. Are.
Thank you very much. I just want to be sure that we are live on all our platforms apart from YouTube, apart
Yes.
from I checked we are only live on Facebook. We are not live on Twitter. I can't find the Twitter.
We're live from my end.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, on Twitter, Alex.
I'm not talking about the TYF pack. I'm talking about the audiovisual.
The audio visual, I can see it.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. So maybe we just have to play music because I need to repost and quote so that a lot of people can join. Most people don't know if I don't do that. And once the lecture starts, it will be very difficult for me to do that. So we just have to. So the topic tonight is a very wonderful topic. It's religious brotherhood versus ethnic brotherhood. So maybe Madam Ajoke can keep talking while we figure that out.
I'm seeing everything now.
Okay. Our people should bear with us. Can I get a link? Can the link be sent to me?
Oh, to you, okay. Okay, just a minute. Sent to one.
I'm not talking about the TYF pack. I'm talking about the TYF main handle. Okay. Oh, okay. I've seen it.
You got it? Okay, good.
Okay. I'm going to share and quote, and please join us. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Once again, greetings to all our brothers and sisters all over the world in the name of Olodumare. We greet you in the name of the ancients. We greet you in the name of those who has come before us and those who will surely come after us. Everywhere you are listening to us today, we really greet you. Anywhere you are listening and watching us today, friends or foes, we are really grateful for you giving us the opportunity to speak to you, to your conscience, to your soul. On behalf of Think Yoruba First Organization, institution worldwide, we come again with the message of liberation, not just for the Yoruba people of Nigeria, not just for the Yoruba people of West Africa, not just for the indigenous people of Nigeria, not just for the indigenous people of Africa, but for the oppressed and indigenous people throughout the world. We are here to talk about a very important topic that nobody talks about, or people are very much afraid to talk about, but we have to talk about this very, very important topic. This important topic It's a topic that has shaped empires. It's a topic that has shaped humanity. It's a topic that has shaped many generations. If you are just watching us, kindly, we beg you in the name of Olodumare, do something for us. Because this message, we should be sharing it to thousands and thousands of our people to watch. This kind of platform, it should be getting to thousands and thousands of our people. But I'm not going to lie, those who want to keep the Yoruba people as subjugated people, not just within Nigeria, in the world, are doing everything humanly possible to make sure that they use every means, from cyber attack to plain falsification or falsification of issues, in order to deter people from listening to us. Think Yoruba First is not a Christian organization. Think Yoruba First is not an Islamic organization. Think Yoruba First is not an Isheshi organization. Think Yoruba First is not an atheist organization. Think Yoruba First is not a masculine organization. Think Yoruba First is not a feminine organization. Think Yoruba First is not an LGBTQ organization. It is a Yoruba organization for all Yoruba people. Maybe you are black, you are brown, you are red, you are white, or your forefather was Yoruba. This organization and institution is for you. Which is why we are begging, I'm begging once again, we are not asking you for money. We are not asking you for donations. We are not asking you to give us to ask for any material needs. We just want you to press on the repost and the reshare and quote. Share it to your friends and family. That is just what we need from you. That is just what we need from you before we start the conversation. Because this message is not meant for you alone. This message is meant for the entire Yoruba race. First and foremost, this message is meant for all indigenous people across the world. So by spreading this news, you are doing something even greater than me speaking. If I'm speaking here tonight and there's absolutely nobody to listen to what I'm talking about, it's almost that my effort is in futility. But I'm begging you, brothers and sisters, share, quote, comment. Don't just listen. Whether you are listening on Facebook, whether you are listening on Twitter, whether you are listening on TikTok, whether you are listening on YouTube, whether you are listening on Twitter Space, whether you are listening anywhere you are on TikTok, anywhere you are listening live, or you're going to watch this program later, maybe this year or next year, or in the next 100, 200 years, this message is very important for you. And what are we discussing tonight? What are we discussing this afternoon? What are we discussing this morning? No matter where you're listening to us across the world, we are discussing a very important topic that is currently shaping the geopolitics of our society, that has been shaping the geopolitics of the Yoruba race for the past 200 years. There are always that has led to the death of millions of Yoruba people, that have led to the enslavement of millions of Yoruba people, that is currently causing death of thousands of both non-state and state actors in the northern part of Nigeria, that has turned Nigeria into a state of Cold War, that has turned Nigeria into a state of asymmetrical warfare, that has turned the whole West Africa into the new Middle East. And what is the topic? Religious brotherhood versus ethnic brotherhood. It is no longer news that within Nigeria, we practice geopolitics. And there are some people in Nigeria who believe that religious identity is superior to ethnic identity. There are people within Nigeria who believe that ethnic identity is superior to religious identity. There are even people within Nigeria who believe that both religious identity and the ethnic identity should be erased and destroyed. We have different people within Nigeria who believe in different things. And the question I want to ask us tonight, as Yoruba people, what should we believe in? Should we form religious brotherhood with the Igbos, with the Southeast, because they are largely homogeneously Igbo, Christian, and do Christian brotherhood because almost half of the population of the Yoruba people are Christians? Should we do Islamic brotherhood with the Sokoto Caliphate, with the Borno Empire, because they are largely Muslims, because almost half of the Yoruba population are Muslims? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves, showing that the Yoruba people are roughly divided between Christianity and Islam. We are roughly broken into two. And we need to tell ourselves, what should our allegiance be? Should we think Islam first? Should we think Christianity first? Or should we think Yoruba first? This is one of the reasons why this topic, I've been able to break down this topic for each and every one of us, so that you can understand what exactly is Are talking about. And many people, I've seen many people that are still saying, why is Are Kurumi? Now, this is me, I'm Oladimeji Bolarawa. This is my face, and this is my name. So if anybody say, oh, where is he? I'm here. The message has changed. The message has evolved. The message is now better. So let's go back to what we're discussing. The topic today is not just a topic that has affected Yoruba people. It is a topic that has really shaped the world. It is not news that in the 1970s, the Fulanis created an NGO. And when they created this NGO, which they call the NSCIA, they permanently made themselves the permanent head, the spiritual custodian of Islam all over Nigeria. There's nothing called democracy. And they placed the descendant of Uthman Dan Fodio, somebody that has been the eternal enemies of the Yoruba people, that we fought countless wars, that killed tens of thousands of Yoruba people in battle, and our people were not conquered. The blood of our forefathers has really soaked the soil of Yorubaland, and they made him the permanent leader of the Muslims. And during that time in the 1970s, the Yoruba people, especially our Yoruba leaders who are Muslims, they protested and said, this is not, doesn't make any sense. This is wrong. Even there was a time in the there was a constitutional conference in the 1970s that the Court was saying that Nigeria should not use ethnic identity when they are counting for population census. They said that religious identity should be equated to ethnic identity. So meaning they are going to be counting Muslims instead of counting Fulani, Yoruba, or Igbos. You know what that means? Without firing a single bullet, the Yoruba people are going to become permanently minorities. We will be permanently destroyed. Our land will totally be pitted against one another, just like it happened in Lebanon. So when this issue you are currently seeing in 2026, when some people who have never hidden their disdain for the Yoruba race within Nigeria, within the politics of Nigeria, we've seen the politics they play, the politics of hegemony, the politics of supremacy, the politics of subjugation of the Yoruba people within the context of Nigeria, are suddenly telling us that we are all one brothers in the name of Islamic Brotherhood. And they start quoting us sort of verses. They start telling us that we should not think. We should avoid logic. We should avoid history. We should just dogmatically follow them. And we are asking them, what did you do to the Hausa Muslims? The Hausa people were Muslims before Uthman Dan Fodio raised the sword and annihilated the entire Hausa leadership and imposed Fulanis. Until date, the Fulanis are the one controlling the Hausa land and the Hausa economy? Or what happened between the El Kanemi and Sultan Bello when El Kanemi wrote an ideological rebuttal to the army of the Sokoto Caliphate? Why, if you say that you are really fighting for Islam, why are you fighting the Borno Empire? People that have been practicing Sunni Islam, people that have been Muslims for close to 600 to 800 years before even the Battle of Uthman Dan Fodio. Why are you attacking us if really you are for Islam? If what you're doing is not for politics. That was the first victory the Kanuri people had. They were able to ideologically puncture the lies of Uthman Dan Fodio, who wanted to hide political ambitions under religious Puritanism. I said today, we are going to talk about the Ottoman Empire. What transpired between the Turks and the Arabs? Because you need to understand the way the world works. You need to understand the way the world is built. There's a reason why many people hate TYF. And one of the reasons is that we are liberating a lot of our people. We are waking up a lot of our people. You cannot conquer a people that know their history. You cannot subjugate a people that are ideologically sound. You cannot fool a people. You cannot suppress a people that are ideologically brilliant. You cannot destroy the mind and soul of a people that are ideologically strong. You cannot destroy the mind of a people that are ideologically brilliant. Ideology is number one. There's a reason why Nigeria has not been able to totally eradicate and defeat Boko Haram. There's a reason why Nigeria has not been able to totally eradicate ISIS with the entire war machine of America, with the entire war machine of America, with its power, with its guns, with its bullets. America has not been able to defeat Al-Qaeda. America has not been able to totally eradicate ISIS. America was not able to eradicate the Taliban ideology, because you cannot defeat an ideology with guns and bullets. You cannot defeat an ideology with guns and bullets. It is impossible. At the height of the Cold War, America fought on the land and in the sea in order to be able to destroy communism, in order to eradicate communism from the world. They only reduced the influence of communism. They were not able to eradicate communism. So this is why we're having this question today. The issue of ideology, by making sure every Yoruba sons and daughter is ideologically aware in this 21st century, in this new millennium, is extremely critical for our survival in this century. It's extremely critical in our survival in this millennium. Because what happens in this century is what is going to determine the next 300, 400 years. What we are doing is for the generation of Yoruba yet to come. We are ideologically fortifying our people so that when the army from the Sahel comes, when they start knocking at the gates, and we start knocking on the gate, our people are going to be prepared. The Ottoman Empire, one of the greatest Islamic empire, one of the greatest empire that was a successor to the Byzantine Roman Empire. What is the Byzantine Roman Empire? The Byzantine Roman Empire was the Eastern Roman Empire. The Byzantine Roman Empire was conquered by the Turks, and by the time they took over, they took the Eastern Roman Empire, and they wanted to actually even conquer the entire Western Europe, until they were stopped in the 16th century at the gate of Vienna. Now, the Ottoman Empire actually ruled and colonized the Arabs. They were imperial masters to the Arabs for more than 500 to 600 years. The Ottoman Empire controlled the Arabs, subjugated the Arabs for 500 to 600 years. That is why you see the context of geopolitics. The Turkish people, the Turks, they see themselves as superior to the Arabs. They see themselves as superior to the Arabs. That is why you even see that the Turks are given a kind of a leverage within the European world, and they are seen as Europeans compared to the Arabs. It was because of this issue. It was because of this historical reality. How the Turkish people, the Turks, all the way from Eastern Europe, from Central Asia, came down and controlled the entire North Africa and the entire Arabian Peninsula. So, until 1914, the Arabs were ruled and controlled by the Ottoman Empire. For instance, Mecca, Medina, and all these holy sites of Islam was controlled by the Turks. So the question you have to ask yourself, if there was brotherhood in Islam, why did the Turkish people, why are they subjugating the Arabs? They won't tell you all this history. They just tell you, oh, one woman, it's all lies. You need to understand the politics. You must understand the politics. The politics is more important than the dogma or than the doctrine. The politics is more important than the theocratic indoctrination. You must not allow people to continue to gerrymander you and to continue to bully you. You must ask questions. This is why we are Yorubas. We thank Almighty God that we are educated in Yorubaland. If not, our fate would have been like the Hausa people. We would have been destroyed in our homeland. It is because of this ideological soundness of minds of the Yoruba people that has kept us intact within the quagmire of the geopolitical struggle, dog eat dog, cat eat cat of Nigeria. So, going back to what I was saying, the Turks, they colonized, they were the imperial masters of the Arabs for 500 to 600 years. Why am I emphasizing on it? I'm emphasizing on it that the Arabs are not invisible. The Arabs are not who you think they are. For 600 years, they also suffered humiliation. For 600 years, they were also enslaved. For 600 years, they were also put down. And there were many instances where the Ottoman Empire killed, maimed the Ottoman Turks and killed a lot of Arabs who wanted to fight back against Ottoman imperialism. A good example is the great-grandfather of the current Saudi dynasty in Saudi Arabia. The great-grandfather of the Saudi dynasty was not only conquered, was not only captured, he was taken as captive and taken to Constantinople, and his head cut off and was humiliated and executed by the Ottoman Turks. And what was the sin of the Saudi king then? Of the Saudi king then? His sin was that he was challenging authority, and they even tagged him as an extremist. One of the things they did to him was that they played music, and according to the Wahhabi doctrine of his own doctrine, their own doctrine of Islam, it is a shirk to be listening to music. So these are the kind of things that happened within the Arab world, between the Islamic world, between fellow Muslims, between the Turks and the Arabs. And there were different instances where Arab nationalism started springing up. Arabs started fighting back. But every time they stood up, the Ottoman Turks used their superior military power to crush it and subjugate it. But something happened, the world changed. In 1914, the First World War started. And I'm not here to tell you how the First World War started, because that is not why we're here tonight. Because you only have 1 hour of intellectual conversation. And we need to be able to touch as many places as possible. The First World War started, and the Ottoman Empire fought on the side of the Austro-Hungarian Empire and the Germans and the German Empire against the rest of Europe. And what happened? The Ottoman Empire declared jihad, the holy war, and called on all Muslims of the world to join the Ottoman army in order to fight against the kuffars, to fight against the kafiris, to fight against the infidels. Who are the infidels? The infidels were the Europeans. But do you know what happened? The same Europeans, the Western Europeans, the British, the French, and their allies, America, were able to convince they were able to convince the Ottoman Turks, the Arabs, and say, look, if you join us to fight against the Ottoman Empire, we are going to liberate you from Turkish domination and Turkish slavery. And that was what they did. That was why the House of Al Saud was able to create. In fact, the British, they funded many Arab militias. They funded many Arab armies in the Middle East, in North Africa, in Syria, in the Arabian Peninsula, in Jordan, in Iraq, in order to be able to defeat the Ottoman Empire. That was why it was after the defeat of the Ottoman Empire, one of the things they gave to many of these Arab militias, Arab warlords, was to make them kings and turn them into kings and give them lands. That was how Saudi Arabia was created. That Saudi Arabia was the kind of a token, was the bounty for a good job well done for the Arabs turning back against their fellow Muslims, who are the Turks. So when you look at Saudi Arabia, Syria, Jordan, Iraq, Lebanon, all these Arab countries were product of Arab betrayal of this religious brotherhood. Most of the Arab countries in the Middle East was a product of the betrayal of the Arabs against the Turkish people. Why did the Arabs choose freedom instead of religious brotherhood? Why did the Arabs not listen to those telling them to come and do religious brotherhood and ignore their freedom? Because they understand self-preservation. They are not stupid. For 600 years, they've learned their lesson that there's nothing called religious brotherhood in a brutal world. On paper, on religious texts, it might exist. But in practice, you are going to practice it, you will be enslaved. It is one of the old tricks of old empire builders. Religious brotherhood is one of the old tricks of old empire builders. Religious brotherhood is one of the old tricks in which a minority uses in order to subjugate the majority. So they understood this and they fought, and they had Saudi Arabia, they have Syria, they have Jordan, they have Lebanon, because it was after this war that the French and the British came across and came around and they broke the Middle East into pieces. That is why no matter what happens in the Middle East, the Arabs are given more share, at the expense of minorities like the Kurdish, like the Kurdish and the Maronite Christians, like the Druze, or the Yazidis, because the Arabs were the ones who had that pact. There was an Anglo-Franco-Arab pact that they had before 1914, and that pact still stands today. And God, that pact was the pact that led to the destruction of the Ottoman Empire. So as a reward for the destruction of the Ottoman Empire, that is why the Arabs are giving this first-class treatment within the European Power Stakeholder Committee today. You must understand history. You must understand history. How was Saudi Arabia formed? How was Jordan formed? How was Syria formed? How was Iraq formed? Go and ask this question. It was because of the betrayal of Arab Muslims against Turkish Muslims. QED. So if it failed in the Middle East, why are the Fulanis trying to sell this poison chalice to us in Nigeria? I want to go into another part of history. And this part of history is, I'm doing a kind of a summary. I'm doing a lot of summary tonight. And what I'm doing is a lot of juxtaposition. You compare and contrast. This is the most important aspect because politics is ideological. First is an ideological warfare. Politics is warfare. An ideology, narrative is part and parcel. In fact, it constitutes 80 to 90% of what politics is all about. And politics is brutal. The expansionists understand this. Now, another good example is the issue of Pakistan and Bangladesh. Pakistan and Bangladesh were Muslim majority region in former British India. Pakistan and Bangladesh were former majority Muslim regions in Bangladesh, in British India. But what happened? After the British left, or before the British left, there has been issues as regards to what was the kind of political arrangement that they were going to have in India. The Hindus are the majority population, and the Muslims understood if they stayed in India, they were going to be subjugated. They left India. Why? The reason why India broke into two was that the Muslims needed their own country. They don't want to be ruled by infidels. And they left. And they went to go and create Pakistan. Now, in Pakistan, there were two linguistic blocks, the Urdu speaking and the Bengali speaking. The Urdu speaking and the Bengali speaking. And it was basically West Pakistan and East Pakistan. The former name of Pakistan was West Pakistan. The former name of East Pakistan was the former name of Bangladesh was East Pakistan. So there were issues. So West Pakistan is now called Pakistan, and East Pakistan is now called Bangladesh. So within Bangladesh, within this this new Pakistan, there was now struggle for power. There was a brutal struggle for power, and there was a brutal struggle for domination. They are both Sunni Muslims. Both of them used to be Indians. Both of them fought for independence to get out of India. So what happened? What exactly? How did it get so? Why did his religious brotherhood, Islamic brotherhood, not been able to keep these people together? So you need to understand that religious brotherhood is a farce. Religious brotherhood is one of the, without considering ethnic differences, is one of the biggest scam ever created by empire builders on earth. Empire builders, they build their empires not just on bloodshed, they build it on basic manipulation. Empires are built on deceit. Empires are built on manipulation and the control of narrative. And that is how empires are built. And we need to be able to understand this fundamental fact. So you look at situations like this, and going back to what happened between Bangladesh, so there was now different political issues. And one of the critical issues was the issue of language. In order to create one Pakistan, to create one united Pakistan, the Western Pakistani who believe that they are the majority and they are the dominant region, they wanted to impose their language on East Pakistan. And this problem started. And East Pakistan said, no, this is a multi-linguistic country, even though we are all, this is a multi-linguistic new country, even though we are Muslims. You are not going to tell us to stop speaking Bengali in order to adopt Urdu. This is colonialism. This is one of the reasons why we left India. Why are you doing the same reason and you are saying we should forget it and look at the common good in the name of Islam? They refused. And what happened? The Western Pakistan brought and killed millions of their fellow Muslims who said they don't want to be locally colonized because of religious differences. Do you understand what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? You can see how the lie called religious brotherhood was exposed. The lie called religious brotherhood was exposed. I've given you 3 instances. I spoke earlier about how the Kanuris were able to expose the Fulani deceit. When the Kanuris were able to expose the Fulani deceit in the 19th century, at the height of the Danfodio Jihad, led by Son Sultan Bello, and said, you are not Muslims, you are nothing but a land grabber and an expansionist who was hiding under Islamic Puritanism. It worked on the Hausa people. How you are able to hide under Islam to be able to take over their lands. It is not going to work for we Kanuris because we built one of the greatest Islamic empire in the history of Africa. Afro-Asiatic empire in the history of Africa. So what are you trying to tell us? And this was what happened. This was what happened. And they were able to push back, and they were able to fight back, and they were able to maintain their ground. This is one of the reasons why, if you observe the way the Connaught is established, it is built on the Fulani and Kanuri duopoly. It was the Kanuri fought for their respect. The Kanuri fought, they fought like their life depends on it. That is why the Fulanis understood that if they really want to continue this one North, this one Arewa, they need to share power as equal stakeholders with the Kanuris. That's why you see the NSCIA. You look at the NSCIA, the Fulanis are permanent president, the Kanuris are permanent vice president. It is because of that, of the post-jihad phase. That was the power arrangement. You look at what happened when Tinubu wanted to choose a vice president. You either choose a Fulani or you choose a Kanuri. Tinubu chose a Kanuri and he still represented northern interest. That's how they think. That's how they think. You saw the current minister of tourism when she said, if you want to be, if you cannot choose a minority, somebody that is not Fulani, somebody that is not Kanuri, as the vice president, I say you choose a northerner. That is what is happening in the Connaught. They are not hiding all these things. It is because the education we received in this part of the world has limited our understanding of power and geopolitics. Don't say you are not interested in power. How can you say you're not interested in power in this dangerous waters, in this dangerous period? And I'm sorry to say this. The Kanuris are leading Boko Haram. The Fulanis are leading their own jihad, their own Fulani military jihadism in the Northwest. The two people that believe in this, that they are the custodians of Islam, are the ones that are basically terrorizing the rest of Nigeria. The past 15 years, that is when they've taken up arms. You can also see what is happening across West Africa. It is the same people that are creating chaos and fighting against governments non-stop. So we need to understand there is no religious brotherhood. There is no religious brotherhood in the real sense of it. It is all lies. Let me give you another instance. When you know there is no religious brotherhood, I know a lot of Christians are going to think, oh, Israel is their friend. I'll give you a good instance. Armenia was the first Christian country in the world. Armenia is the first Christian country in the world. What happened to Armenia? And what happened to Armenia just a few years ago? Armenia, they've been fighting for the ownership of a particular region between them and Azerbaijan. That area is called Nagorno-Karabakh. Armenia has been fighting for that land. They believe it's theirs. But you know one thing? Israel funded and supported Azerbaijan, gave them the latest military hardware, gave them all the support in the destruction of the destruction of the military of the Armenians. And they were able to expel over 300,000 Armenians within less than a month. And they took that land away from the indigenous people, from the Armenians. So the question is, where is the religious brotherhood? Are the Israelis not supposed to be supporting the Christians? No, the Israelis not only supported Muslims, they supported Shia Muslims. So the Israel that's an eternal enemy of Iran is now supporting another Shia country, which is Azerbaijan. So you understand that it is all politics. Everything is about your interests. Everything is about your interest. I'll give another instance. Many people talk about the destruction of the Songhai Empire. The Songhai Empire was not destroyed by the colonialists, by the Europeans. The Songhai Empire was not destroyed by European powers. The Songhai Empire was destroyed by the Arab Kingdom of Morocco. The Arab Kingdom of Morocco destroyed and burnt to the ground all the university in the Songhai Empire. They killed many of the scholars. They killed many of the Islamic leaders and took many of the Islamic scholars and took them to Morocco. And that was the end of the Songhai Empire. Now, why should an Islamic kingdom be destroying another Islamic kingdom? If there was really the Islamic Brotherhood, you need to understand history. Now, let me talk about Christianity. Ukraine is a Christian country. not just a Christian country. The brand of Christianity you have in Ukraine is Christian orthodoxy. The brand of Christianity is Christian orthodoxy. East European Christian orthodoxy. The kind of brand of Islam Christianity you find in Russia is East European Christian orthodoxy. The saint in the Ukrainian church is the same saint in the Russian church. In fact, it was the spiritual leadership of the Church of Ukraine is from Russia. They are the same. But what happened? There was war because of ethnic differences. The ethnic differences between Ukraine and Russia made it impossible to find a common ground. The crisis has always been there since the days of the Holodomor, when the Russians used starvation to kill close to over 2 million Ukrainians in eastern Ukraine and resettled and repopulated that area with ethnic Russians. So where is the religious brotherhood? Religious brotherhood should have stopped the war between Ukraine and Russia. Religious brotherhood failed. So religious brotherhood failed. What about the Second World War? Most Germans were Christians. Most Germans were Christians. Most British people were Christians. The French were mostly Christians. Yes, the French and the Germans, they went to war. They went to war. If there was Christian religious brotherhood, there shouldn't have been the First World War and the Second World War. When they paint, oh, we are all religious brotherhood, it is all lies. It is all lies. There was always been war between different Islamic countries. They're different. There is nothing like the human. It has always been the same. Even after the death of Prophet Muhammad, there was a division. There was a division about who was going to be the leadership in the Islamic world, which gave right to the Sunnis and gave right to the Shia. So you have to understand that you must not suspend your brain because you want to be holier than the Pope when it comes to leadership and power, which is why, whether in religion, whether in economics, whether in politics, you must not give up leadership in your ancestral land for another race. A race without power, a race that cannot control their politics is dead. I want to give another example of religious brotherhood. A good example of religious brotherhood in the Christian world was I first spoke about the Islamic world. So that some people don't think, because as we have people who think that because of Islam, they can suspend their brain, we also have people who think because of Christianity, they can suspend their brain. It is not true. Not all Muslims are your brothers and not all Christians are your enemies. Not all Christians are your brothers and not all Muslims are your enemies. You must understand geopolitics. It is about interest. Somalilanders found out this for a long time, that their interest is not the interest of the Arab world, that their interest, their survival is not important because they are seen as third-class Muslims, because they are blacks compared to the Palestinians. This is the reality. We know a lot of our people are really, really down. The indoctrination of more than 30, 40 years in different madrasas, where a lot of our people have been indoctrinated to see the interest of the Arabs as their own interest, to see the survivor of the Fulanis as the survivor of Islam. This is one of the biggest lies ever sold to our people, which is why a lot of our people cannot call out the evil that is being perpetrated by Fulani jihadists all over Nigeria, which is why they believe lying and protecting terrorists is part of religion. This is a lie. This is the indoctrination of over 40 and 50 years. Let us go back to the issue. I want to talk about the issue of Christian brotherhood. Why Christian brotherhood is a lie, and how Ethiopia was able to expose the lies called Christian brotherhood. After the 1884 Berlin West African Conference, many of those places in East Africa like Somalia, Ethiopia, Djibouti was given to Italy as their own piece to colonize. And Egypt, Italy, went ahead to take over Ethiopia. The first thing Italian colonizers did, was to start sending their missionaries and say, brothers and sisters, we are here to tell you about the Lord and tell you about Christianity. The first thing Ethiopians did was ask was that, what sort of Christianity are you coming to come and tell us? We've been Christians for close to 2,000 years. We've been Christians since the days of the apostles. We've been Christians since the days of evangelist Philip. Why are you coming to tell us about Christianity in Ethiopia? What Bible are you bringing? What are you to come and tell us about Christianity? And they chased away many of these missionaries. They sent them out. Don't come and tell. And that is why it was very easy. Italian colonialism in Somalia was successful, but it was not successful in Ethiopia because they could not use Christianity as a form, as a tool of subjugation and infiltration of the Ethiopians. And that was why there was a battle where the Ethiopians emerged at the Battle of Adua, because Ethiopians were not subjugated in their head. Because you are not going to come from Europe when you are still pagans and come and tell us about Christianity. It's the same thing like the Kanuris. They told the Fulanis, you cannot come and tell us about Christianity with Islam in the Banu Empire. It is insanity. Who are you? This is what so many Yoruba Muslims are saying. How can you come when we've been Muslims for 400, 500 years and be coming from Sokoto and say you want to come and you want to tell us about Islam? What sort of Islam are you telling us about? What is good about you? Our land is more prosperous than you. Our land is more peaceful than yours. We are more advanced. We are more blessed. We are more progressive. So what exactly are you bringing from the core north that we don't have here? What exactly? Your way of life is not worthy of emulation. So what exactly? Why do you think you must lead us? What exactly? What gave you this audacity that you can hide under religious puritanism and be claiming any form of supremacy because you killed millions and millions of Hausa peasants, because you killed a lot of people? That's not true. We are not going to accept that. That was exactly. The Ethiopians did not say, yes, we are all Christians. Oh, we are all brothers in the Lord. Italians can come. No, they stood their ground and saw these empire builders for what it is and fought like their lives depend on it. They fought like their lives depend on it. They fought like their life depends on it. And do you know what? After the Italians were defeated at the Battle of Adua, Mussolini still came back in the 20th century to come and redeem the honor of Italy, because how dare an African country, black people that they see as backward people, defeat a European army? Because they were being mocked, they were being laughed at in the Western world that Italy was a backward country. So they wanted to redeem their image. So in short, this example of Italy shows you that there is nothing called Italy versus Ethiopia. There is no religious brotherhood. It is ethnic brotherhood is far more important. It's far more important, brothers and sisters. In short, in conclusion, the Yoruba people must think Yoruba first. We do not have the luxury of putting Islam first. Anybody doing that wants us to go extinct. They are saboteurs. We do not have the luxury of putting Christian first. Anybody doing that is a pure saboteur. We have to put our ethnicity first. And the Fulanis don't have any choice than to put Islam first. The Fulanis don't have any choice. And the political survival of the Fulanis is not the business of the Yoruba people. The political survival of the Igbos is not the business of the Yoruba people. All man for himself. This is not hatred. That's why it is a race, it's a competition. That's why that's why they say this time presidency goes to the north, presidency goes to the south, presidency goes to the west, presidency goes to the east. Because of the differences. So why should we now suspend our own survival because of the supremacy of an ethnicity that believes superior to the rest of us? What sort of ideology is going on Do these people think we are stupid? Do these people think we are crazy? Do they even think we do not have a brain to think of ourselves? What exactly is going on? Which is why we must take this campaign into our villages. We must take these campaigns to our schools. We must take these campaigns into the cities. We must take these campaigns into the spaces, so that we push this diabolical ideology out of our spaces. Nobody can say what I'm saying is not intellectually correct. Nobody can say what I'm saying is not historically accurate. Nobody can say what I'm saying is not ideologically true, because it is true. Which is why we must not allow people to swindle us and meddle with our brains intellectually and ideologically. When you divide Yoruba people along religious lines, we become minorities. That was what Peter Obi wanted to do he did in 2023. Break the Yoruba people along religious lines. He couldn't succeed. Now he has run away and started playing as equal politics. And went to go and talk to the Fulanis that he sees as the enemy of Christianity. He says, church, take back your country. The same man is now kowtowing with people that are Islamic supremacists, Islamists. The Fulanis are minorities. They are not even up to 5% of the Nigerian population. If we practice democracy along ethno-religious, ethno-linguistic lines, the Fulani will never emerge as the president of Nigeria till eternity. But if you practice democracy, if they continue to play religious politics, they continue to use Islam as a political currency, they will rule Nigeria till eternity. And many of these boys you see, all these fundamentalist Yoruba boys you see, these extremists in our midst, are only looking for what to eat. They are creating a revolution to position themselves in this new order that they are trying to create in their head, which they will fail. They will fail. They will fail and they must fail. Which is why they hate CYF. They hate what we stand for. And one of the reasons why they hate us is the issue of Kwara State. You think Yoruba first. The Yoruba Ilorin think Yoruba first. They will stand up and chase away the imposters in their midst and take back what actually belongs to them. You think Yoruba first. Yoruba people will control 10 states within Nigeria without firing a single bullet. They're like a sleeping giant. They've been able to use religion to hypnotize our people. I would rather be under a Yoruba Christian than being under a Fulani jihadist. That's what we are talking about. That's what we are preaching about. Thinking Yoruba first. I hope I've been able to explain well the difference between religious brotherhood and ethnic brotherhood. When they call you a Yoruba tribalist, it is an honor. A people who cannot organize themselves into tribes will be conquered. A people who cannot organize themselves into long ethnic blocks will be conquered. You need to organize yourself along these lines. They just understand this. The Fulanis cannot play that game. They are playing the religion of politics. They are playing politics. They pump billions and billions into religious jihadism, which is why it is almost impossible for Nigeria to defeat political Islam. You can't, because that is the currency of the Fulanis and their power grab. That's why you see a lot of dirty elements within Yorubaland. They are being paid because that is how they are getting relevant. Poverty and lack of proper political leadership and direction is why we see some people in the fringes in Yorubaland that are not talking like Abubakar Shekau and they are talking like Osama bin Laden. We must not allow them. They must be shamed. They must be aggressively pushed back. And we need your help and support and your prayers for Think Yoruba First organization. Pray for us. We need your support. We need your support. Because the journey is now just starting. The journey has just started. Pray for our people in the fields, in Kogi, in Kwara, risking their lives for this cause. They are not on Twitter. They don't talk on Twitter. They're in Delta, at the front line of the battle. Because this is you think, many of you think it's not a joke. That's why those who understand what we stand for will not stop attacking us. And we are grateful that we are being attacked. It shows we are doing things right. When they don't attack us, we are no longer a threat. How many Yoruba organizations do they see them attacking? They don't. But we are just starting. Millions and millions of people like me will be raised, and others will be raised to be able to stand for the defense of Yorubaland. Yorubaland is worth fighting for. Yorubaland is worth dying for. Yorubaland is worth defending for. Because it is a piece of estate, real estate, everybody wants. Everybody wants it, both within Africa and outside Africa. Why won't you be able to defend it? A land you cannot defend does not belong to you. Thank you very much. Eshe Pupo, may Olodumare continue to be with the entire Yoruba race.
Ami Àṣẹ Ààrẹ, thank you very, very much. Ẹ ṣeun gan ni. It's been a very, it's like this message should not end. Ààrẹ, we have lots of beautiful commentary, especially coming from the from our Facebook. This is one here from Mr. Yusuf, Babatunde Kolawole. He said that would be the best solution. You know, he's just talking about Kwara State, which is very, very sad. We have here, we have somebody here, Olabode Olumofin, saying thank you. We have Mr. Abe. Well done, sir. Thanks for this enlightenment. And we have several people, you know, uh, good of the you, President Bola, well, kudos to you. America is coming. I hope it will be final conclusion for all these horrible things that's happened by all this ignorant mentality of Fulanis and those witches and those bewitching us who are claiming Yoruba Aboriginal. So we have several. Thank you very much for this message tonight. What I just have some posers to us as we listen from home. Um, there is a particular how do I put it now? A poll I just pushed up. Yoruba unity is weaker because of religion. Do you agree or you disagree? Those of you who has my handle on Twitter, that's X, you can go there and vote, and let us see how weaker we are becoming because of religion in America, in Nigeria, in Yoruba land. And another question we should be asking ourselves is, you know, does religion unite us more than our ethnicity? Is it true of us? Religion, uniting us more than our ethnicity? Please, we would love to have your comments and your questions and your insights into all what we have discussed tonight. But Are has given to us. Are, a very short question for you. When you hear the phrase religious brotherhood versus ethnic brotherhood, because we'll be hearing it, you've talked about that already. What does it immediately mean to you personally, apart from being TY president? What does that mean to you, Are? Apart from you being a TY president?
Can you repeat the question, sir?
When you hear the phrase religious brotherhood versus ethnic brotherhood, what does it immediately mean to you personally?
It's just I see a fraudster.
Okay, that is fraud. Somebody is trying to play. Do I say play smart
Play
or play?
smart. 419.
For one. I see some hands up from our TYF pack from the Twitter handle. Mr. Tad, please go ahead with your question or your comment.
Thank you very much for giving me space. So, I always say that in every religious group, there is bound to be extremists. I'm a Christian myself, but during the 2023 elections, let's not forget some Yoruba Christians were also backing, declaring war on Tinubu himself, saying that, especially in Lagos, which was fought by some pastors. Let's not forget that, and I said that I can't join any Christian coalition to oust native indigenous Yoruba people. It's not through my own faith that they used to intrude into Yoruba land.
Hmm.
So immediately now, some of the Muslim wing extremists are also shouting and beacon and beacon. I was just like, okay, what can we do to destroy these people's agenda? Rule number one, look, Yoruba, you said something very important. Yoruba people occupy a very, very strategic estate in Africa.
Mm.
We are by the coast, we are by the border. Our cities are the most prominent. Lagos, Ibadan, Akure, Ogun State. So everybody wants a piece of Yorubaland. Everybody has now studied the collective people and said, what's the one weakness these people have? Is religion. And I always say something that I don't believe in your faith, in the doctrines of your faith, or don't agree to, does not mean I hate you. Because what I see they used to wind up some of this where from the Muslim wing is see they don't let you do this, they don't let I say the fact that someone doesn't agree is like being a Man U fan and say I don't do what Chelsea does. Someone disagreeing to your faith does not mean they hate you. So they weaponize the differences in belief and start to project a victimhood agenda, like your victims, you're this, they're oppressing you. Like someone not agreeing to your dropping the government, they are oppressing you or whatever. And to be one even I was listening to one of their spaces. One of them even said they should kill Ondo and Ekiti people because there's no Islamic presence there. So that is how far gone some of them are. That they will bring people from Alimi, they will come and attack. I say, look, this is they have succeeded in brainwashing them through channels that we can't control. But I would say because of the religious matters, and because it's coming from a different religious angle, the way it will be tackled, it will be up to the conservative Yoruba Muslims to tackle them. It's not something that some of us as non-Muslims can do because they can now say you're trying to do so. So I have to work with the conservative Yoruba Muslims who put the culture first to tackle those people. If you go to some of their spaces, you see something they're talking about. You think they came from Sudan or whatever or whatever. But another thing is that if you are to split across religious lines, we are finished. As long as Nigeria is concerned, we are finished. We will lose relevance, we will lose wealth, we will lose cohesiveness, we will become an appendage to Lebanon. Hezbollah became an appendage to Iran. Israel was working with the Christians. That's what happened to Yorubaland. So now Lebanese will struggle to speak as a cohesive because they are agents of external influence. Now, the president said something very important. For the Fulani man, political Islam is tribalism because they don't have the numbers. So the only thing that gives them influence is religion. That's the only thing they can use to control a great population. So the so-called brotherhood they are saying whatever, it is tribalism in its own. It's a form of ethnic supremacy as far as I'm concerned, because that is how they survive. They are like 7 million, the population of Ondo State. So without that religion, the Emirate system, they are next to nothing. So whether you're Christian or Muslim, I always say it, you hold on tight to your faith, but never forget who you are. And if only preaches to you, look at the Muslims, they are doing this, they won't let you guys listen. It's okay. It is not the business of an outsider to tell you that your ethnic member that doesn't subscribe to your faith hates you. If you go on this street, you see somebody saying Christians can help Christians anywhere they are. Another non-Yoruba will say Muslims can help Muslims wherever they are. Nobody should never don't let them use your religion as a weapon to infiltrate your barracks. And I also said it as well, because as I'm calling out the jihadist from the Islamic perspective, our Christian, our marry out, which is also another source of infiltration that we're seeing real time in our politics. Tẹ́ẹ̀bà lè rí fellow Yorùbá Christian yín fẹ́ kẹ́ lọ fẹ́ obìnrin Mùsùlùmí tó jẹ́ Yorùbá. I will say this as a Christian. Ẹ̀yin lẹ máa fẹ́ ọmọ ilé, ẹ̀yin lẹ máa fọ́ ọmọ ilé, ẹ̀yin lẹ máa fọ́ ọmọ ilé. Àwọn Chinedu, they are products of marriage from our own angle. So we also need to marry more within ourselves. We are 50 million.
Mr. Tat. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Mr. Emmanuel just came up. Mr. Emmanuel, are you there?
Baba Bakari, mo sáré ní question fún ààrẹ.
Okay, Mr. Emmanuel, just hold on, okay? Just hold on. You'll be the next to speak,
Ẹ
okay?
má bínú, Mr.
So,
Emmanuel.
thank you. Please just hold on.
Okay. Ààrẹ, what
Go
baffles
ahead.
us? How do we actually get here? Because growing up in Yorubaland, it was not like this. Gbogbo àwọn rhetorics tá à ń gbọ́ nísìn, mostly even from our religious leaders. À ń gbọ́rọ̀ ẹ̀ ní Yorubaland tẹ́lẹ̀. A máa gbọ́ kéèyàn máa sọ fún wa pé tí ẹlòmíì bá declare Ramadan aside from Sultan of Sokoto, ẹ̀sìn wa ni kán pa á. How do we get? Báwo la ṣe débi báyìí, ààrẹ? It wasn't like that in Yorubaland. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan? Báwo la ṣe get it wrong? Kí ló dé?
In tó fà á ni pé the political leadership and the military government. Sherry, the military government ní Nigeria, they were ruling like caliphs. Most of the madness that we currently see, the Fulani hegemony, it was the military government that created it. NSCIA, Nigeria joining OIC, creation of states, this creation and the gerrymandering and the destruction of minorities in the Middle Belt, the killings and jailing and persecution of Yoruba leaders, the gerrymandering of the Yoruba people of Kogi and Kwara, they were all works of the Nigerian military. That is why the Fulanis currently want military government to take over Nigeria. They perform well under they are the Igbos perform well under the military government. After 1970, in 1967, states were created. Yoruba people had, at least in the old Western region, Lagos State, Ondo State, Oyo State, and Ogun State. The Igbos only had South Central states. We had 4 states, they had 1. In 2026, we have 6, they have 5. What happened? So anytime state was created, double was created for them. By who? By the Fulani military leaders. Meanwhile, we fought for Nigeria's unity. We died. Our resources was used for Nigeria's unity. So why were we sacrificed for the Igbos? You need to understand, there's a lot of things Yoruba people need to unpack within Nigeria. You don't ever say, I don't want to be ethnic. No, but you are ethnic, then you're in bondage. So you better not acquire what it. Just imagine money that Malami stole under the democratic government. Now imagine what they were doing under the military. It was times 3. So you become a trillionaire. You have so many assets that you don't even know. They are still rich. So they can easily give one imam, Logbomoso, they can give him 10 billion naira. He's rich, he's powerful. One employee SAN be made to defend it. Many of these people are poor. All of a sudden, once the salary 5 million naira per month, and they come and preach extremism. Torí don't preach in here, don't fi approach it. So they've been able to corner the wealth of Nigeria and do as they wish. That was what they did in Sudan. That was what they did in Sudan. So funding It's also part of this. And they acquire this, and unfortunately, the politics of the Yorubaland has now become unideological. A lot of people that have no business in politics are now in politics. We now have elitist, classist, arrogant miscreants in politics. So this is a problem. They see politics as a way. You are going to see people that can't even, I'm sorry, that can't even tie your shoes. That's because they have APC card. All of a sudden, they now become the alpha and omega. Why they are not even nobody within the scheme of things. Do I hear where many people felt TY was just a fringe organization? It's just a fringe group, it's just a fringe organization. But they've seen that what we are saying, what we are doing, is actually what is coming to pass. So we have to understand. And social media has really exposed a lot of things. We always have extremists in our midst for a long time. So social media was what they wanted to use to expound their ideology. Gbogbo àwọn people ìtẹ ní àwọn tán ìgbà tí Mr. Tal sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn tán lọ́wọ́ sọ pé àwọn tó wà lẹ́kìtì àtòǹdó kan ṣe báyìí sí wọn kan ṣe báyìí sí wọn ta ló fẹ́ dìbò fúnrú àwọn people yóò lè wà politically relevant nílẹ̀ Yorùbá náà. Wọn ò lè jẹ́ governor, wọn ò lè jẹ́ anything. Because kò sí Yorùbá kan torí ẹ̀ ń sìn many of them wọ́n ti ń change the style of their extremist behaviors. Because they don't expect the pushbacks, radical pushbacks. Last year, it used to do even more. You are going to see the government appointees, SSAs, coming to the public to defend madness. Now I'm saying them, are you guys sane? But because people stood their ground, that we don't want this bush, we don't want this rubbish in Yorubaland. But I think because you have friends amongst these Fulanis, you think you can copy their feudal lifestyle and come and implement it here? You cannot. Which is why we must build Yoruba nationalism. We are the antidote to their madness. Yoruba nationalists no defeat the Battle of Otefon. Yoruba nationalists no defeat Otun Ekiti. Yoruba nationalists no defeat Jalumi. Yoruba nationalists no defeat Osogbo. We will do it again. It is because Yoruba nationalism has become weaker. That is why these people believe they have what it takes to challenge us. They don't. We need to take them on and put them in their place. So, nationalists lónìí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kò ń ṣe Islamist. I'm saying it on here. Gbogbo bá tọ́nà pariwo Sunday Igboho yẹ ká pa ni o Sunday Igboho ṣé mo nígbà táwọn nationalists ló ń control politics now ọmọ wa wọ́n free ẹ. Bí ẹkún ayérayé àdẹ̀ ṣe máa jẹ́ tiwọn nìyẹn àwọn alákatakítí yẹn lágbára Olódùmarè.
Àṣẹ o.
So look, they are not people you can convince. Àwọn àfihànsí fringes ni wọn ò ní jámọ̀ kankan mọ́ lẹ́lẹ̀ Yorùbá títí láíláí ni. Olóòrùn ni wọ́n bí tí wọ́n belong sí nìyẹn. Kò sọ̀rọ̀ kankan tẹ́fẹ́ bá wọn sọ. Because ọ̀rọ̀ wọn ò wà compatible pẹ̀lú ìwà ọmọlúàbí. Àádẹ́ṣẹ́gun wọn ni.
Thank you, Are. Thank you very much.
Are. Thank you. That was a powerful one.
Thank you for that beautiful question. The thing that's just that I'm still wondering about is this. Too much is this. Is there really a competition? Are we comparing two different dimensions of identity? When did religion turn a topic as an identity?
Because this is what the Arabs are doing. So Wahhabism is being preached. It's being preached. It is essentially what they had in Sudan. The experiment that failed in Sudan is what they want to come and try in Nigeria. Torí ẹ̀ ni àwọn tó ti mọ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Sudan ti ń dá sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà sí. Àwọn Americans.
Yeah.
America is not afraid of Nigeria breaking up. America kan wò pé tí Nigeria bá máa break, kí bloodshed tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Sudan kó mọ́ pọ̀ Nigeria ni. That's why you see them. I'm saying it on here. That's why the leaders of Nigeria understand what is going on. Àwọn northern, àwọn Arewa, àwọn náà máa da Nigeria rú fúnra wọn. It's the bitter truth. These are people that they cannot do without Nigeria, but they are extremely fanatical. They survive without Nigeria. So it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Are. Let me see who else is there. Whose hand is up? Okay. There's some good comments here. I want to. This is Mr. Makwina from. This is from, if I'm correct, this is from YouTube. Onipe, the saboteurs amongst us suffer from radical optimism. They all believe that the evil we are warning them about cannot happen, and they'll be integrated into the hegemony.
Yeah, it's true. They believe they will be integrated into the caliphate.
If this thing had happened, nígbà tí bàbá Ọ̀dẹ́rìnlọ, may God rest his soul, tó ń jà ń gbà yẹn, ìbá ṣe pé wọ́n wí nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ń gbà yẹn, kò mà ní sí nǹkan tó jáde tán tá pé náà Láàfin Ọ̀yọ́ mọ́. Ẹ̀mí Ọ̀yọ́ la máa jẹ́.
Kò ní sí tó ń jẹ́ Ọ̀ọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ mọ́.
Kò ní sí Ọ̀ọ̀ni, ó wá jẹ́ Ẹ̀mí of Ifẹ̀ ní Yorùbá ọmọ nǹkan tó ń bọ̀ nílẹ̀ ni wọ́n mọ̀. Tó jẹ́ pé ó yé wọn ni wọ́n á rò jinlẹ̀. Alákẹ́fẹ̀ gbà kò ní jẹ́ Aláké mọ́. Kí ló ń jẹ́ Àwùjalẹ̀ mọ́? Everybody go be Emir ni.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, they would have so they would have, and they are also using them as a soft power to create a Southwest core North alliance so that they can have access to the sea.
To the sea. This is Agbafi from this is from Twitter X. Are more strength to you. You are letting a lot of young Yoruba people. Of course, that's what we intend to achieve. That's why God raised up TYF. Thank you very much. And content only does the Sultan, anyway, and this is rhetorical. Does the Sultan of Sokoto appear in the Quran? He is the leader of the Caliphate of Sokoto now, not Nigeria. Thank you very much. And yes, and also I think lots of comments. This is Mr. Yomite. He even gave us some little money. Thank you, Mr. Yomi. With almost $14 Canadian dollar. Great job, Are and the TYF. Our land will be freed. And all the evil shackles holding our people bound will be destroyed. And Yorubaland will not be conquered. Are Tinubu must be supported and protected. In fact, that last word, protected the Gani Kokobe. Eshegoni. Thank you. Mr. Tad, màá pè yín sókè láìpẹ́ ṣẹ́gbọ́n. Ẹ kí n pe Mr. Olúwa Tóbi kan sáré sọ̀rọ̀. Mr. Olúwa Tóbi, yeah, briefly, okay? Mr. Olúwa Tóbi, please, you have just 1 minute to ask your question, okay? You can mute. Okay, Mr. Tad, bí àwọn ṣì bá ti bọ̀ network. Mr. Tad, let's hear from you. Just 1 minute, please. Mr. Tad, are you there? Okay, before they both come up, if I may ask, in your view, which one shapes people's daily decisions more in Nigeria today? Is it religion or ethnicity?
It's ethnicity.
Thank you very much.
Even those that are telling you religious brotherhood, is it not their Muslim brothers? So they are playing a psychological game, which actually works on a lot of people. So you are going to see people that like just like what the Southeast did in 2023. They were telling people, religious brotherhood, Christian brotherhood. At the same time, they were cursing the Yoruba people largely from Ekiti and Ondo. So it's the same. They think the same way. I'm sorry. The Southeast and the core North, because both of them are two extremes. They are two extremes. They are two extremes. So they think everybody is gullible, and the reality is that actually, if you are not careful, you are going to fall victims to their manipulation. It's the bitter truth.
Which a lot of Yoruba did actually.
And that is why there must always be a majority. I'm coming. There must always be a majority bloc that are always standing tall.
Yeah.
There will always be outliers. There will always be Christian extremists, Islamist extremists in Yorubaland. We always have them. That's why I will never support anybody abusing all Yoruba Muslims. It is the most dangerous thing to do. I will never support anybody insulting the entire Yoruba Christians. It is the most dangerous thing to do. You can't do that. Because the majority still get it. Despite all the radical approach of the Southeast and how they were able to turn many of Yoruba youths against Yorubaland, close to 60% of Yoruba people still voted for Tinubu. Despite all the war they waged. Now that we now know what is happening, we're expecting almost 90 to 95% to do the needful. And many of these people now understand politics better. They understand that religious brotherhood is a scam. Religious brotherhood is a fraud. So that they don't say, oh, religious brotherhood, you're not a good Muslim. That's why I gave the history of the Ottoman Empire. What the Turkish...
America tàwa yìí 95 or 98% àwọn tí president láti deport ṣebí Christian ni wọ́n. They are Christian. Ṣé á ní kí wọ́n bàálù ń jẹ ni wọ́n lè bàálù ẹ̀jẹ̀ mọ́ lọ́wọ́. A ní orílẹ̀-èdè ẹsẹ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè méjì. Ilẹ̀ nílẹ̀ tá bá ti lájú wa wálẹ̀ wọ́n ní kí tàlùbọ́ kó wa right tó bá ti kó ojú wa ó parí nìyẹn o. Wọ́n ń tójú lọ́jà. Mr. Oluwatosin, right? If I'm correct. Oluwatobi, are you ready? Mr. Oluwatobi, are you ready now to speak? His network is always.
Yes, I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay, please, 1 minute. 1 minute, please.
Yes, sir. All right, sir. Good evening. I think yesterday I was on a space. Everybody that time, so I couldn't speak.
Oh, okay. Please, sorry. Go ahead. No problem. Go ahead.
No, let us speak. Let us speak after.
Okay, Mr. Oluwatosin, go ahead. Oluwatobi, go ahead. After you, Tad will come in. Oluwatobi, go ahead, please. Oh, Oluwatobi, his network again. Okay, Tad, please go ahead with your question.
So you were saying something about like people which is who if America brokers are just this is a protestant question. If America says to the Nigeria split, there's nothing anybody can do about it. That's it. So when you say
Oluwatobi, go ahead. This will let Tad be barrier on Ajo.
So I just want to clarify when you say Obuanwa, between who and who are the I want to know like what's the scenario? Who is fighting with who? Where is the battlefield? That's what I'm just asking this just like for my information. That's all.
Okay. Are.
That's if America says Emma, you do you good when you sake of time relation anyway.
I don't understand the question, please.
No, you said one time that during your past conversation, you said that if Nigeria splits, there could be chaos and whatnot. So I'm asking, like, America wants Nigeria to split. Like, who is going to fight you if America says split the nation? That's what I'm asking you. Like,
there's a big problem in Nigeria that people don't understand. Nigeria is still existing because of ethnic minorities. And what I'm saying here is very, very confidential. Ethnic minorities are the reasons why Nigeria is still intact. Because number one, ethnic minorities don't even have the opportunity. They don't even have the ability to form a country within themselves. Middle Belt is an ideology. It has not been tested. Unlike South. Because there was firstly a Midwest region out of the Western region templates here now create the South. Now we unite the minorities from the former Western region and the minorities from the former Eastern region. Now we create the South. But if you look at the Middle Belt, wala wa nbe. Many of them, apart from having useless leaders, many of them don't actually understand what nationhood or independence means. So what they are now doing is, and these people are very, very connected. You might say anything against them, but many of the former generals, so they are saying, what they are telling America is save us. Don't let them kill us. But we want to still maintain Nigeria. Because apart from the fear they have against the Fulanis, who might probably annihilate them, they also fear, they are also afraid of the Jukuns and the thief, or the Nupes, who can also exterminate them.
Okay, because so there will be a scramble for dominance.
There will be a scramble for land. For instance, if there is a break, if there is a debreakage of Nigeria today in the Niger Delta in Nigeria, there will be another war between the Igbos and the Ijos. The Igbos are going to fight the Ijos. The Igbos are going to be fighting against the Efiks. The Igbos are going to be fighting against the Bibios because of they want access to the sea. They just need to push for 2020, 30 kilometers, and they will get access to the Atlantic Ocean.
Like what Ethiopia is trying to do.
God bless you. It's even worse. So it's going to be free for all. So everybody understands that there will be war. So everybody believes that there will be war before these people come, before the international community is going to say, oh, peacekeeping. And international community is not going to say, oh yeah, go back to where you used to go. So the minorities understand that Nigeria is what is keeping them from extermination. They understand that the Igbos will jump across the River Niger and come and claim Delta North. I will not be able to say that on here. Next question, Joe.
Mr. Tad, thank you. Mr. Toby, are you ready? Just 1 minute, Joe. Please.
All right. Yes, somebody was saying something. They was telling me something yesterday, and was like saying, I'm a Christian. I support Christians from this thing. They are my brothers in Christ, like this thing. And somebody now mentioned something today when they were talking that I think it is right for us now to start preaching that message of, as a Yoruba man, you must, that message of marry a Christian, marry a unbeliever, we should scrap it in Yorubaland. What do you think? We should scrap that message of, because we should marry ourselves. I think from that ideology, that thing will die off naturally. It will die in natural day. That thing of, I'm a Yoruba Muslim, I'm a Yoruba Christian. It will, because segregation don't work because of the religious proportionality here, is bringing that separation. It's bringing separation between Yoruba Christian and Yoruba Muslim. But when we begin to marry within ourselves, within our space, I think that thing will die in natural death. Because we are normally, we are conservative. And the days of being liberal has gone. Yoruba were liberal more. Tell them, I used to feel with other ethnicity. I cannot really talk well. I cannot really go. But listen, I don't care. I really do not care. I talk about Yoruba. I prioritize. In fact, I'm so conventional about Yoruba than any other thing. tó bá máa hate mi kó hate mi, tó bá ní bá mi ṣọ̀rẹ́ ni kó má bá mi ṣọ̀rẹ́ mọ́. I really don't care because the space power, Nigeria power, is so tense to the extent that you have to understand that Yoruba first, or else a lot of people just want to step you down, and at the end of the day, they will declare their own intentions, their own identity over you. So people feel Yoruba never just sorrow. Have to be liberal. Gone are those days. So I feel now everybody, if I as a Yoruba Christian, marry a Yoruba Muslim, there's something bad here. Our ideology, they get on me, church, we should do away with those ideologies. That's what I just want to say.
Yes, you go, Mr. Loatobers. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good work, please. Yeah, just 1 minute, please. Thank you.
Yeah, that was very, very powerful, message. It is about the way you put that speech down, like so in a way that sometimes when you think about it, you can't actually, you know how to put the word down. So I tried to even observe something between there was one time I saw Boko Haram and ISWAP fighting themselves. And one time this was that ISWAP were actually majorly dominated by Fulanis and Boko Haram was dominated by Kanoris. And despite the fact that both of them were saying they were fighting for Islamic cause, they started to fight against themselves for ethnic domination. So that's even when even among the terrorists themselves that I think they are ultra Islamic, they are still fighting to entrench ethnic domination among themselves. But I wanted to ask questions to Ari. One question I want to ask is when you look at the situation that is going on in Kwara, do you think it's actually the situation can be salvaged based on the incursion of the terrorists? Do you think
the issue is that thank you, Mr. Adam. I'm publicly thanking you. I've not spoken to you for months, but I see what you do for us. God will continue to bless you, sir. I've not seen you in person, but you are part of those who believe in our cause and our message. God will continue to strengthen you. Brother. He's a wonderful brother. What I want to say is, Sherry, bí Madam Kara, wọ́n dẹ̀ ti máa ní pé kí n máa ṣọ̀rọ̀ mi. Yorùbá ti yá ọ̀lẹ.
Yeah, that's what those are.
Yoruba people actually, mo fẹ́ kọrin kan mi má bá ṣe lè kọrin yẹn bí báyìí. Mi ò mọ̀ pójú ogun láyé o.
Obama ti múra sílẹ̀.
Obama ti múra sílẹ̀.
Láti ìgbà èwe Obama ti múra sílẹ̀. Ìbá wa kọ́dà.
Ara bọ́ lẹ́nu mẹ́fà láti jàjà òmìnira.
Tí n bá lọ sílé àwọn tó máa ń pe tèmi ní ìjà. Tí n bá délé ẹni tó ń gbógun máa fi bẹ̀ ṣe ibùdó ìjà bàbá
ọba kan wá bá ní wa ò pé à ń kọrin àti gbà àṣẹ o.
Ọ̀tá pọ̀ yẹn ṣe rí ojú ogun nílé ayé on an individual base, on a collective base. In tí àwọn òyìnbó ti figure out nìyẹn nípa life. In tí Asians tó ti figure out nípa life. Torí ẹ̀ ni ẹ máa rí pé wọ́n á ṣàmàrà nǹkan ogun jọ, wọ́n á máa discover more and more techniques how to kill people. Wọ́n ṣàmà máa kó pamọ́. Kí náà ń bá àwọn náà bá jà?
Ọmọ alájọ ọjọ́.
Ọjà. Àwa là ń gbé ayé. Là ń gbé ayé. Ẹ wo Nàìjíríà. Kí Nàìjíríà mọ̀ ní military industrial complex. Láti ṣe bomb, láti ṣe ìbọn, láti prepare fún ogun. Tó fi dórí ọ̀tá ẹ̀ ń rà ni. Something is wrong with our mindset and psyche.
Hmm.
And reason tí àwọn olórí wa fi ṣe báyẹn was that wọ́n fẹ́ keep the population in a state of docility. Torí population tó bá mọ bá ṣe ń lo nǹkan ogun ẹ̀ lè subjugate ẹ̀. In America ṣe nìyẹn, everybody can use the weapon.
That's it.
Everybody I last.
Torí ẹ̀ ní Europe fi dancing.
Total.
Because Europe cannot even defend itself. Ẹ̀rù ń bà wọ́n. They are being bullied by world powers, being bullied by Russia in the east, being bullied by America in the west.
And this religious extremism in the middle.
And being bullied domestically. You can't try that with Europe 100 years ago.
Yeah.
The Europe of the nationalists. You can't try that rubbish with them. They'll push you out. So what am I talking about? Ọ̀yọ́ empire. Ọ̀yọ́ empire. Wọ́n máa lé kúrò ní capital ẹ̀. For 30 years, a tún padà lọ́bẹ̀. Wọ́n á lé kúrò ní capital ẹ̀. A tún relocate. Torí la fi ní Ọ̀yọ́ Àgọ̀, Ọ̀yọ́ Ìgbòho, Ọ̀yọ́ Àtìbà, Ọ̀yọ́ Òkò, Ọ̀yọ́ Kátúgà. Ọ̀yọ́ had close to 5 capitals. Tọ́ máa lé kúrò bí kan yóò lọ create another capital.
He's still coming back.
He's still coming back. Àwọn tó gbàgbé yẹn yóò tún lọ síbẹ̀ lọ jà padà. That was the resilience of our fathers. Ẹ wo àwọn Ẹ̀gbá. Ìgbà tí wọ́n displace wọn kúrò ní area Ìbàdàn yẹn, they had to go and recreate another city ní Abẹ́òkúta from the scratch.
So mighty.
They created another city. Many people mọ̀ pé Abẹ́òkúta àti Ìbàdàn, they are refugee cities. Over 19th century yẹn ló created those two capital of two states in Nigeria. Even Osogbo was also a refugee city of the Oyo Empire. Now, not sure the population, but even though it originally belongs to the Jesha people. So that is why our people are so resilient. Oh, but they create Modakeke from nothing. Odiomu from nothing. Who believes people are doing refugee ni? Ẹ̀yin jẹ́ kí wọ́n ṣáwọn youth sin tẹ́ pé wọ́n trek lórí TikTok ni. Ṣáwọn yẹn ni wọ́n fẹ́ displace. Ṣáwọn yẹn ló fẹ́ create new city. Tí ẹ̀fọn mẹ́ta bá jẹ báyìí di tẹ́ pé yóò mọ gbọ̀ngbọ̀ngbọ̀ lábẹ́ pílò ni.
Oble generation.
So actually become weak. Torí ẹ̀ náà yóò fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé bó lè rọ Kwara. Kí ló ṣe Kwara? Kí ló tẹ̀ ń bẹ̀rù fún? Ẹ mọ̀ kojú ogun láyé ni. I'm not here to play. I'm not supporting what the Jews are doing. Jews believe pé Jerusalem tí wọ́n ní. Wọ́n mọ̀ sọ pé láti pẹ́ for more than 3,000 years tán fi wà ní exile. They will say, see you next time in Jerusalem. But what did they do? They went to go and fight for Jerusalem. Ogun náà lọ fi bẹ̀ Jerusalem. Just 50, 60 years ago. Tó wẹ́ pẹ́ yìí ni ẹ̀lẹ́ lọ ni. Ẹ ṣàfi ẹ fi Kwara lẹ́wọ̀ ẹ fi lọ kí ló ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀? Ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ bẹ̀rù. You win, good. You lose, good. So be it.
That's it.
You continue fighting. Mentality táwọn Russians ní nìyẹn. Russians should have been wiped out of the surface of the earth since the days of the Mongols. They kept on coming back.
Yeah.
Ó yẹ káwọn Mongolians pa wọ́n run, wọn ò pa wọ́n run, wọn ò rí wọn parun. Ó yẹ kí French Napoleon Bonaparte, ó yẹ kí Bonaparte, ó yẹ kó wipe out two Russians, kò rí wọn parun. Ó yẹ kí Adolf Hitler, ó yẹ kó pa wọ́n run, kò rí wọn parun. They're resilient people. Hate them, love them, but they understand that to survive, you must be hard as a stone.
And they love their nation. They love their nation. One love.
No, it's not about when I was about to now, but they survived.
Yeah, Yeah.
Look at the
Discipline.
Chinese. The Chinese was a country that was supposed to be totally destroyed. One legalized opium, heroin, and almost 2/3 of the entire country were drug addicts. Hey, imagine. Kéèyàn kàn ní drug addict lásán no family ẹ̀ lásán. Ẹ mọ irú ẹkún tí family yẹn máa ní. You now have your kings, your politicians, your governors who are drug addicts. So one must scratch ara. That was what happened in China. And China survived it. And they were able to reclaim their world power status against all odds. So Yoruba gbọ́dọ̀ understand wípé nothing in this life is given for free. You must be tough.
You have to fight for it too.
You have to fight for it. That's why I'm not even perturbed by fọkọ ọmọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ jihadist yẹn. Type of boys wọ́n tẹ wọn sílẹ̀ last tí wọ́n fún wọn ní pankẹ́rẹ́ last gbòdì.
Baby terrorists.
No, those are baby terrorists. Those are baby terrorists.
Oh, they qualify to be called terrorists, gan.
They are not even qualified. They are jokers.
Tó bá gbọ́ ìró bàbá yìí létí ẹ̀ ó máa.
They will run away. Many of them cannot even face us.
Wọ́n á dínà Jésù, wọ́n á dínà ìbá ànábì.
So please.
Ẹni mo kàn ṣeré ni.
They are not bold. They are not even bold to come and do what they are trying to do. Tẹ́gbọ́n máa bold ní ó yẹ ká ti lọ bá Sunday Igboho pọ́n fẹ́ lè kúrò ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá mọ́. Ẹ lọ wò báwọn tens of thousands àwọn èèyàn ṣe welcome ẹ̀. So to us they don't exist. Shall understand? So mo fi Ọlọ́run mo fi bẹ̀ wá. Then wọ́n ní pé ká sọ̀rọ̀ nípa NSA.
Ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ló ń bèrè o.
Kí ló ń bèrè?
Kristi ni o. Ó ní ààrẹ can you please ó fẹ̀bẹ̀ sí ni o ní kẹ́ jọ. Tó pẹ̀lú yàrá pẹ̀lú down. Ó ní can you please speak on the NSA's phone being tapped?
Well,
every statement.
Gàmbàrí pa Fúlàní.
Kò lè jẹun.
Kò lè jẹun.
Àrẹ̀bọ̀ ẹ wo class tó wà ń bẹ̀.
Pàǹdàrẹ̀ Gàmbàrí pa Fúlàní. Ó ń fẹnu kó. Ṣé ẹ rí tẹ́ bá ti ní stupid enemy? Ó yẹ kẹ́ máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. No sane person should be saying that in public.
That
was it.
Ìlú gíga ni pé Amen.
Amen. But nobody should be saying that. You provided a good evidence. If anything happens to the president now or in the future, Nigeria is gone. What to go back when you
I am Aquina.
Are told me to you. Okay. Reach out, send me a message me personally.
Okay. Let me just reply him now.
Oh, Jerry, reply when Joe.
Okay.
So, Mr. Good Adam, ṣé mo dá ìbéèrè yín?
I want to see. Oh, yeah. That's it.
So, meaning we should not be worried about our president.
Ọlọ́run protect. I'm my badra no. I need more questions from the audience. So, Good Adam. At least 2 more questions. We are closing in the next 7 minutes.
Benny.
Yeah.
Benny. Kristi ni ó lè ṣeun. Ó kàn rẹ́rìn ni. Yeah, Mr. Yomite, Russia also has a large formidable military reserves that can be deployed, let alone nuclear arsenals. Yeah. This man said, Yoruba don't appreciate or value their natural superiority from the creator. Their tradition, the culture, the religion, the values, etc. are the best worldwide. They just need to understand that they are completely foolish and ignorant and rethink retrace their steps, back, and they are naturally the most endowed people globally.
Yes.
How?
Ọlọ́run àgbẹ̀
Mm,
àdébẹ̀ gbogbo iṣẹ́ náà là ń ṣe gbogbo àjọ ń ṣe inú mi
Then,
tẹ̀dúgbò pàtì àti mọ̀gún sí pé ìṣòro wà ẹni tí
That's
wọ́n pọ̀
right.
oníṣòro ní gbogbo àti mọ̀ sí I reach out on X since nationalism hour. I think that was this past week. Yeah,
okay.
Mr. Makwina yẹn.
Okay, boya, okay. I'm a solid problem.
Just try and do it again, okay, Joe? Shewo, thank you very
Tell him
much.
to reach out to me personally. Me personally.
Through his how do I put it now? Directly through his X, you can get to his inbox. His inbox is open. Open.
Then,
Okay, his inbox is open. Shebo, thank you. I should do that one. Okay, Tad, Mr. Tad, just 1 minute, okay, please.
we are closing in 5 minutes. Oh.
In 5 minutes, Joe. Ìbéèrè ni o. Via network, he has network problem. The question again, Are, is it possible to be deeply religious and also deeply ethnic without conflict?
Yes,
Ooh,
yes.
Okay.
So the right word to use
Okay.
is to be deeply spiritual and
Mm.
deeply ethnically conscious.
Good. Ethnically conscious.
There's a difference between religiosity and spirituality.
Reality.
So most Yoruba Muslims are spiritual.
Good.
Most Yoruba Christians are spiritual. So when you are religious, you become political.
Mm.
Oyato.
Yeah.
So our Fulanis are very religious.
And that's why the politicians exploit that religious brotherhood.
Exactly. So no. They are using it for leverage. For instance, a friend of mine was telling me about something. He was using the Christianity as a case study. He said the Pharisees during the time of Jesus were religious; they were not spiritual.
Mm.
But you look at the current state of Israel, they might be spiritual, but they are not religious. They are two different things.
As we close, Are, how can Yoruba youth, our young people, avoid being manipulated through religion? That is one. And what message should a Muslim, a Christian, or a traditionalist Yoruba youth hear tonight?
The message, I will start answering the last question.
Okay.
The first thing, the two questions have just one answer.
One answer, yeah.
They should think
Yoruba
Yoruba.
first.
Think Yoruba first.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
And so,
wish a lot of our youth have
so why?
started doing now. We should
Okay.
be happy about that. They've started doing that. Yeah.
Okay.
Now our youth are really want to understand what is on the ground. They are
Mm.
really, yeah. I don't think they will be. I mean, religiously more our youth won't need fall see this brainwashed of a thing, unlike um our people in the 40s, 50s, 60s.
She wants in the whole Yorubaland now, okay, worldwide. No matter unless I buy for an local, they see T-Wife as an icon that they can look up to as an exemplar, or as a hope, the only hope of restructuring and bringing Yoruba back into the lifeline. Let me just say the lifeline of Yoruba. How can TYF now serve as a bridge between religious divides within the Yoruba nation?
The name
We
Or
just
said it all.
Robinson, yeah,
Abubakar, may I say the name said it all. Olori ẹ̀ náà nìyẹn, think Yoruba first. We
okay.
should, I
exactly.
mean, think about everything. I mean, both Christian, Muslim, traditionalists, everybody. Tábà ti ronú pé a ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni sẹ́, ọmọ Yorùbá ni wá. Before anything, Yoruba come first. That bridge will be there.
Okay, that's a very good one. As you want to add, maybe you don't have anything to add. Somebody is asking a question. What can we do to promote this at home on the ground and not just online. Mr. Fisher, thank you for that question.
Okay, what's that question? Ifeshola.
We
Mr.
are
Fisher,
Mr.
okay.
We are Mrs. No, sorry.
By the special grace of Almighty, we currently have proper structures. We've been able to build proper structures for TYF. And by the end of the month, we are going to start our membership drive again online, where people are going to be joining and they are going to be deployed, and we are going to actually be very, very effective. We are surely offline, but we are trying to sort out our homes because advocacy costs a lot of money.
Sure.
And it takes a lot of energy and time. So we will surely do that. It is already time.
Please do. Somebody wrote they're dragging the Yoruba friend here. Please do.
Please do.
Drag Atebi, Atara, drag everybody. We have to drag ourselves to think Yoruba first.
I am a winner.
Okay.
Only I'm dragging my Yoruba friends here one by one. No more time for aesthetically Yoruba.
Aesthetically Yoruba, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, this is beautiful tonight. So powerful and
Exactly.
so wonderful. Mr. Fire Dragon 52, what does it mean to think Yoruba first? Is this not a supremacist approach? How do we approach thinking Yoruba first without being a bigot? It's you if I love this man. You know his name? His name is he's the Secretary of State in America now. Marco Rubio. What's up, money? But when he was on his way to Germany, on the airport, all the old world order is gone. Frankly, only we live in a new era in geopolitics. So when you understand geopolitics, the word bigot or tribalist will not even come to your mind at all.
Yes.
It will come to your mind. Thank you very much, everybody, for
Mr.
joining us.
Bakari, Etimo statements also.
Mm.
Everything he claiming for the US. If the
Benny,
UN has not been doing anything, they were not able to do anything. It is US that is single-handedly doing everything. They couldn't solve the problem in Ukraine. They couldn't solve. UN couldn't solve the problem in Gaza. US ló ń ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀. Only share anything. What do we want to call that? Ṣé tribalism àbí bigotry àbí kí ni ká pè yẹn? Brother wa tán kọ message yẹn. Ṣé rí that bigotry, tribalism, whatever yẹn. Gaslighting ni. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí wọ́n gaslight yín. Think Yoruba first. You are not bigotry because you love your people, you love your land, you think your ethnic group. It is not bigotry. Anybody. It is not, it is gaslighting, not by code. Am I gaslighting?
But I love the way Yoruba is even talking. Mr. Maye. Only Mr. Fire Dragon 52. Yoruba is not a tribe. We're a nation of tribes.
Ethnic group.
We're a nation. So
We're a
our people are
nation.
nationalists. If we do not, I don't know. Sorry, space about you.
We do not put our people front and center.
Yeah,
We can't be
we can't
succeed
be
in bringing.
successful.
That's
Bringing
yeah.
others in. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. What we should take home tonight. I thank everybody for coming to the space to join us tonight, and I really, really appreciate all your questions, all your contributions, as we have all looked into the importance of putting Yoruba first in all that we do. It is very, very key because the question we should take home tonight is that if we remove politics and emotion, what kind of brotherhood actually secures the future of the Yoruba people?
That's it.
If we remove politics and emotion from everything that we do, what actually, what kind of brotherhood will secure the future of the Yoruba people? As I'm in America now, I'm not talking of religion. I'm talking about, I see a Nigerian, I see a Yoruba man. I'm happy. Oh, my brother, my hug, Akira. I'm a Muslim first or I'm a Christian first. Make sense at all.
It makes sense.
Could make sense. Hey, Joe, we are pleading to all Yorubas to remember that we don't have another land except this one land that we have.
That's it.
This weekend will be a beautiful weekend. Please, as you are having Valentine with your family, with your girlfriend, with your wife, with your beautiful family, let us also show Valentine to our land, the Yuba land. Many people have died to preserve and to protect that land for us. Don't let us sell it for a plate of jollof rice. Yoruba land is the only thing that we have. Thank you very much. Good night to everybody. Bye.
Thank you very much. Ẹ ṣé o. Ẹ̀yin la máa máa rí bá o.